Hi, everyone. I'm Reverend Nikki Happy, the Director of Marketing and Engagement at One Spirit, and I'm sitting here today with Reverend Dr. Kathy Bozzuti-Jones. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We're here to talk about your workshop that's Contemplative Photography. And so before we do that, if you could just share with us a little bit about who you are and the work that you do.
Sure, thank you. I'm a native New Yorker who's recently moved out into the woods of Northwest Connecticut. So it's a big change, and I'm just loving the new spiritual practice setting. I'm a student of progressive Christian spirituality and social ethics for many years. And for about 20 years, I've served in the area of practical spiritual formation with families in the parish setting. I was ordained in One Spirit in 2010, and then I continued and did the interspiritual counseling program. And today I practice spiritual companioning in various settings. In the past couple of years, I've been training to teach Buddhist mindfulness meditation. The personal practice and the practice teaching has had a strong influence on my spiritual life and on my photographic work.
The name of your workshop, can you explain where this inspiration came from, Contemplative Photography? What is it and what's your inspiration behind it?
It's something I love so much. It is my favorite spiritual practice. It's my primary spiritual practice. It's such a rich invitation to growth for me in terms of prayer and presence that I'm happy to share it. At first, I didn't even know I was doing it, but I was getting feedback that certain of my photographs had like an intimate or reflective spirit to them. And so I began to study and look into it more and to practice. Funny thing is that there were signs of an affinity many years earlier. I had this education theory professor who described my learning style as similar to a dog walking down the street, sniffing at everything along the way. At first I was like, is this an insult or is this funny or what? But it turned out that she hit the nail on the head in terms of like how I access my natural spiritual sense of awe. And this is exactly what contemplative photography is. You slow down, you look around, you allow yourself to be drawn to something, and then pause and relish what you normally would run past on your way somewhere else. So in contemplative photography, we're looking on the world with the eyes of the heart. And lo and behold, when you do, you begin to see the sacred everywhere. So contemplative photography has less to do with photography per se. I can't even operate a camera. And more to do with spiritual practice, the practice of finding God everywhere in all things. So I would invite anybody who is not used to photographing, but is used to prayerful attention, not to be intimidated by the photograph part. A cell phone will do the job. So then there can't be a good or bad contemplative photo, right? There are only images that are more or less evocative of this sense of abundance or gift or interior communication or wonder or a dimension of the holy. And this is what we're trying to tune into and reveal in contemplative photography, which is why it's very important we don't say that we're shooting or that we're capturing or taking images. It's a different spirit. In contemplative photography, we're receiving images. So you're learning to receive images as gifts. And this distinction changes everything, because instead of ordinarily just documenting a moment or an event or a memory, in contemplative photography, we're meeting God in prayer, kind of up close and personal, finding what's extraordinary in the ordinary. So the inspiration for this workshop for me is to share this discovery that the more you slow down to receive, the more you see.
I love that. And walk us through what the workshop, so it's a weekly workshop across 4 weeks. So tell us what the experience will be like for participants.
Sure. The classes will be part presentation and then larger parts group spiritual practice and then small breakout groups for integration and for sharing imagery as well. We'll do some Visio Divina, which is a related practice to contemplative photography. Visio Divina translates as sacred seeing. And so we'll practice looking back at some of our images and gazing upon them prayerfully to evoke this deep connection between our spirits and the divine through prayerful gazing. So that's a variation on a practice. And then lastly, there'll be prompts between classes to inspire people's contemplative photography at home.
And so what would you like participants to take away with them after these 4 weeks have concluded?
I would love for participants to come away with an experience of contemplative practice as a creative option for deepening their own spiritual lives. My deeper wish is that folks will find that this approach to meditation has like a direct translation into real life, into being more conscious overall, into being more present to life, more present to others, more attuned to God and creation. So for some people, it'll be an occasional practice. For other people, to enrich one that they're already doing. For others, it might become more of like a monastic rhythm of constant prayer throughout the day by virtue of attuning. In any case, the practice of tuning into the sacred gifts all around us allow our photographs then to become like prayers.